Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new, hi, welcome. My name is Faith, and as the majority of you guys know, I had a baby last year at the beginning of September 1st actually, who is now 6 months old. And I saw that a lot of you guys really wanted to see like my recovery process after having him. So I'm here to talk about that. So honestly, like the first thing that I can remember, like literally right after, which is basically like recovery, is after the baby comes out, you have to deliver the placenta, which in my opinion was, just a disclaimer too, this is all my opinion, what I felt. Everybody's different. Everybody's experience is way different. So I'm not here trying to say this is what you'll experience, but I'm just here to share my experience, like I said. So first was like the birthing of the placenta. It's right after he's born. They have to kind of push on your stomach to get the sac out, the whole thing, which is super, super painful. To me, it's way more painful than giving birth to the baby. 10 out of 10, worst pain. Would not recommend. And then that's like the one thing in the hospital that was like, that I can remember, to be honest. Going home, this is a full-on aftercare, is I had to use a squirt bottle that I no longer have. I wanted to show you guys, but it's a squirt bottle. Every time you go pee, you have to use it because you cannot wipe, because everything down there is jacked up. So you have to use lukewarm water. Don't use hot. I used hot a few times. Whoo, child. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. Cold water, it's not that bad, but hot water is horrible. So I advise using warm water. I would use warm water, and then I would pat dry. And then they give you, I honestly don't remember which one they gave me, but this spray, I feel like it's the same. Well, one is a first aid spray, fast pain relief, prevents infection, and no touch application. This one is it looked like it said the same thing. Fast relief, cools and comforts, no touch application. So use these. One of them, I don't remember which one I use. I think it's this one because there's like less. But you spray it on, and it's supposed to like soothe the pain, make you feel okay, And then you also get mesh panties. I don't have any more of those. I thought I did. But you get mesh panties and a diaper, which is honestly your best friend, because you don't want to have to struggle with those pads, You leak everywhere, especially with the amount of blood you're having. So these are amazing. I kept them because I'm like, oof, one day I have a horrible period, or the next time I have a baby, I got extras, because they only give you a limited amount, which is really jacked up, because these are like the best. I also got like a puppy pad, which you put down, like on the bed or on the chair, just so you don't leak blood. I only use this for like the next 2 days after coming home, just because it was, blood. So that's like, your vaginal recovery. I had stitches. I didn't know where because I didn't ask questions. I was just, I was not there after I had him, but I had stitches. Everything is really like, just like, I don't know, like dry down there after you have a baby. For me, at least, it felt really dry and just like uncomfortable. I had a catheter, so that area was really painful as well, healing. So I think that's it with the vaginal care. I bled until like my 4th week, and there was no blood. I was all good. And then by like the 6th week or the 5th week, I feel like it was the 6th week, I started bleeding like a whole bunch again, and I'm pretty sure it was just my period. I wasn't expecting it until like the next month. But I ended up getting my period and it was horrible. But, thank God for a period, right? I was happy to see that come up. So, next thing I would say that really changes are your boobs. They change so much, even throughout your whole pregnancy. They're just changing constantly. And then after you have a baby, the last few months, I will say you're gaining colostrum and all that. At least I did. I don't know if it's for all women. I feel like it is. But, you get this colostrum. And I had that from I would say 5 months on. I had a pretty good amount of colostrum that would leak and everything. So after you have the baby, your milk comes in like a couple to few days later. And your boobs just get so engorged. And engorged is just huge and full of milk. And honestly, it's kind of painful. Not as painful as a lot of women say. For me, at least, it was just damn, this is heavy. I feel like I'm about to bust, And at night, at least, actually all day, I wore, what are they called? They're just pads that you put over your nipple in your bra or whatever, so you're not leaking all over the place, ruining your bras. No. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and they would be just filled, all over my shirt. I would be soaked, and that was especially when I didn't pump. As you guys know, I don't know if you guys know, but I tried breastfeeding and it did not work. He couldn't latch. He's tongue-tied and lip-tied, so that just causes a lot of issues with breastfeeding. So, yes, I kept trying and going to lactation doctors and all that, but it just wasn't working. So I decided, okay, let me pump. And so pumping, I would have to come in my room, because I don't live alone, obviously. I would have to come in my room by myself while I have all this sadness. Really, I was really sad throughout that time. I would have to pump, and I would have to do that with every feeding. So every time he ate, which was every 2 hours for him, because he wouldn't eat when we left the hospital, or while we were at the hospital, he wouldn't eat. But I would have to pump every time after he ate, and that was just, for me, that was just dreadful. I did not want to do it. I know breast milk is the best, but for me, it just made me feel miserable. It made breastfeeding miserable, and I had enough supply, but I guess you can call me selfish. And yeah, but next baby, I really hope I get a breastfeed. But yeah, I would do the breast pump, and I only did that honestly for a couple months. But that is part of the process. Your boobs are changing. You're gaining all this, milk, and then also if you're not breastfeeding, which I got to experience both, your boobs are shrinking. Well, they go through the same process. You get milk, you get engorged, you're leaking. It's the same thing. The only difference is you're not keep on producing. You're not making your body produce more. So initially stops overflowing. To this day, he's almost 7 months, and I still have breast milk in this boob. To be wrong, I have colostrum in this boob and breast milk in this one. So yeah, boobs just change and all that. Emotionally, here's where it was the worst for me, to be honest. Everybody talks about, the physical aspect of after having a baby. For me, it was all emotional. I was a wreck. My emotions were everywhere. Obviously, I'm happy because my baby boy's here, but I'm also just so confused. I don't know what to do. I'm worried. Literally, my whole brain consisted of worry and fear. I was so worried that something was gonna happen to him. Like I was gonna accidentally not like hurt him, like, like hit him or something, but like I would accidentally drop him, or I would actually bend his arm a wrong way. Like, I was so fearful, I was scared that I wouldn't support his neck one time and it would snap, or, just like crazy stuff like that. I would overthink, and it was so scary for me. So I was just very fearful. I had a whole bunch of anxiety. Anxiety was like my number one emotion that whole time for about like 3 months, I would say. On top of that, I felt like I was just not fit to be a mom. I felt like I couldn't do it. I was just a crappy mom, because I'm gonna be real with you guys. The first 3 months, my mom had him at night. And that's because I wouldn't wake up. When he would cry, I wouldn't wake up. So I stayed up at night with him, the nights in the hospital. And like, I would say like a week after we came home, I stayed up with him. But the problem was I was too scared to go to sleep, because I'm a really deep sleeper. And a lot of people say, your mommy senses kick in. Mine did not for that. I would just sleep and I wouldn't hear him. So the time that I did take care of him at night, I was just up all night. I wouldn't sleep, nothing, because I was so scared. Moses, my boyfriend, he couldn't do it because he couldn't do it, all right? He would fall asleep holding him, He just, no. To this day, no. But so that was hard. I felt like I was just such a crappy mom. I felt like I just wasn't meant to have a baby, and that was a horrible feeling, because I was so happy, and I loved him so much. So that added on to every emotion. And that definitely brought on a lot of hate for myself. I don't know. So in this time, you have baby blues. And that is like the closest thing to postpartum depression, in my opinion, because you're so, emotionally like an emotional roller coaster, nonstop. You're 1 minute you're so happy to have your baby, the other minute you're rethinking everything, and then another time you're just like so angry and upset. It's just all over the place. And during that time, I really hated myself. On top of, my body's not the same. I've gained so much weight. I feel so ugly. I'm so gross. Like, all these thoughts just were in my head, and that was really hard for myself. I would sit in the bathroom and just cry and cry, because I just hated myself so much, because of various reasons. But that ended pretty quick. That was like a month. It felt like years, but it was like a month. And also during like this time, his like first month, with all these emotions, we had an earthquake. I've never felt an earthquake before, and I felt this one. Like, my whole house shook. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, even the neighbors came out and they're like, whoa, what was that? Like, I was so scared. And I think that's what struck all the anxiety, because I was just like constantly thinking like, oh my God, what if we have another one? What am I gonna do? It's like just a lot. And frustration. That's one thing that I think both parents have throughout that whole time. Honestly, even now we get frustrated with him, but during that time it's a lot harder, because this is brand new. You didn't have a kid before, so it's like, oh my gosh, the crying and the constant having to get up, and I'm just so tired, and I still have to do this and this. So there's a whole lot of frustration that goes on in those first few months. But you get the hang of it. things get easier, those emotions go away, that pain goes away from, you know, having the baby. And yes, everything's not going to go back to normal at all, but you know, you got to embrace the new normal. And yeah, honestly, just stay positive throughout the whole process. You know, it's hard, and you know, you just keep, you know, worrying about everything, but just in those times, stay positive, and everything's gonna be good, you know. So yeah, that's kind of all my recovery, to be honest. And like I said, everybody's is different. You may experience something way different. You may experience some of the same things, but that's just what I experienced. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Please, you guys, thumbs up my videos. It would be very, very appreciated. Yeah, and if you guys can give me some video recommendations, I'm always open. If you have any questions, or if, you know, you're just looking for somebody to talk to, you can go ahead and message me on Instagram. As always, it'll be at the end of the video or in the description box below. So thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and see you guys next time. Bye.